Morning, September the 20th. Rise and shine. Good morning to you. I'm Wesh 2, first warning meteorologist Eric Burris. This is Coffee Talk. We get together 7 days a week, chat about what's doing in the world of weather, hopefully getting your day started off on the right note. And we are rolling through an absolutely beautiful morning. There's just so much sunshine. So much. Hold on one second. Of course, I start this. I don't do, but we can't just give everyone their traffic banners. Sorry, I'm working working on the new graphics package. Anyway, what I was trying to say was that it's a beautiful morning, and that while we have been enjoying some level of gorgeous weather, it's going to just stay stunning through the course of the day today. We've got a lot to talk about. Let's start with the tropics, of course, because I know so many of you love dialing in and learning about the tropics and where we're going. Um, so here we go. There's the latest on Gabrielle. No intermediate advisories because it is not close enough to land. So there's that. Winds are at 50 miles an hour. And I've got to tell you, just looking at the satellite data, Gabrielle looks like it's getting stronger. Okay. Look at that satellite presentation. It wouldn't shock me if this thing doesn't try and start rolling into a hurricane a little earlier than first thought, frankly. The official forecast from the National Hurricane Center does bring Gabrielle to hurricane status tomorrow, and then even category 2 status before all is said and done. Here's the official forecast. 5 a.m. advisory. Notice Saturday 2 p.m., 60-mile-per-hour winds. Sunday, 2 a.m., 70-mile-per-hour winds. And then as it kind of, I'll zoom it in just a little bit to make it a little bit easier perhaps for you. But there you go. You kind of see through the next few days. Doesn't move a ton, but it does get to hurricane status, we think, Sunday afternoon, and then recurves and stays safely out to sea, moving away from us. So that is definitely the good news there. The intensity models have been fairly consistent in the gradual development of this thing, or I should say the gradual strengthening. Here's a look at those numbers, and you can very clearly see the swath. Monday, Tuesday is going to be, we think, peak intensity. All right. The question is just how strong. The Hurricane Center's official forecast has this as a category 2, but there is some guidance calling for it to rise to Cat 3 intensity. So we'll see how that plays out. I mean, it seems to be pulsing up this morning, so it wouldn't shock me if it kind of tries to take a little bit more of a swifter approach to strengthening. But either way, that's the direction it's going. When we look at the overall tropical models, happy to report the consistency here is wild. There has been no recon flown into this thing. That's how like clear the steering currents are with Gabrielle, right? It is so clear, it is so easily expected, so done. Love that for us. Absolutely love that for us. So that's the latest on Gabrielle. We'll continue to move out. What about after Gabrielle? We do have another feature that we are watching off the coast of Africa here. At the moment, still has a low end chance of developing. Here's a look at the satellite presentation for you. And it's not that thing coming right off of Africa right now, but it's that stuff kind of right where it says current temp 70 degrees. So it's that piece of energy that's kind of it's doing its thing, it's taking its time. We'll have to see how that ends up playing out, right? National update from the National Hurricane Center does show that the development chances on that are still low, but we're looking at the same kind of 0 and 20% chance of formation. So if it does get going, it's going to be a slow go of it. All right. So that's the latest on where we are now in the tropics. What about looking ahead? That's where we get to look at the different computer models. So let's start. This is the American GFS. And on the right side of the screen there, we have Gabrielle. All right. Very good. Let it behave itself, doing its thing, moving around. Scanning through time, a little something maybe trying to form out east of us around the 28th or so, and then a couple weak deals. But notice the GFS no longer talking about that big thing like firing up in the Gulf and then coming and hitting, right? So that's the good news. Lynn says we will fear no storm until you say to. I hope I never. I mean, we've had major hurricanes threatening us, and I didn't say to fear it. So I wouldn't suspect that you'll ever get that from me. That's just not my thing. We'll track everything that there is. We'll understand the dynamics of it, right? But as far as fearing it, I don't want any of us to ever fear anything, ever, because knowledge is power, right? Okay, all right, back to the models. Broad low pressure into early October around Florida, maybe something there along the Gulf Coast. That's the GFS operational, but nothing significant. Okay, re-rack. Let's switch over to the European. And there goes Gabrielle staying outside of Bermuda. That's good. High pressure for us. Then we have to go from the 6Z to the 0Z because it needs to go further out. Maybe a homegrown deal. Lots of high pressure. There's something there, bottom right corner, right? You see something there, but doesn't look like much of a threat. Love that. Let's look at the Euro AI deterministic model. Little something. All right, the Euro AI is bringing up something close-ish around October 2nd. It's an outlier, though. The GFS and the European do not have that. Okay. Other than that, that's quiet. All right, so let's look over to the ensembles. And if you're new here, the ensembles are a way to see different versions of the model. So, for example, let's start with the ensembles of the American GFS model. Gabrielle, well forecast here, so the swath is not very large. Some ensembles showing around the 30th into the first. So the deterministic models are backing off on it, but notice the ensembles are still showing development somewhere from the Gulf and the Bay of Campeche all the way out to the Atlantic. So, all right, GFS ensemble showing something. Let's look over at the European ensemble. There goes Gabrielle, top right corner, not a bother. Switching over to the 0Z so we can get further out. Probably less than what we saw yesterday, but still seeing elements here trying to form. I would still say that first week in October, the overall dynamics do look like they want to give us something around, right? Okay, something to watch. We'll watch it, don't you worry. Euro AI, let's look at the ensembles off of there. Yeah, it's currently running, so I have to go back to the 00Z. But look at how the Euro AI is just going bonkers. Okay, I mean, you know, there's some indicators of stuff around that first couple of days of October. The Euro AI is definitely a little more intense than the others. But, at this moment in time, I'm not overly concerned about it. I think that there's a signal there for sure. So there's definitely something to watch. But in terms of like threats, there's nothing thankfully for us. So instead, we watch our local forecast, which the top two things we're monitoring here are the return of storms, not this weekend, but the return of storms, and then we start falling into summer, so to speak. Yeah. So anyway, there's that. All right, let's look outside at our tower cam network and see what's doing. Hold on, let me get this dialed up. Hit you. Think. Hit you. All right. Tower cam network. Gorgeous, gorgeous morning. Let's start. There's Epcot. Looking beautiful there. Let's head up to Ocala. I haven't looked at you on camera yet. So I haven't had the chance. Haven't had the play. Oh, that's a beautiful morning. That's a beautiful morning. New Smyrna Beach, let's come knock on your doorstep. See how you're doing. Yeah, the walkers are out. There's a little bit of beach haze. I've seen some haze around. It's still a beautiful morning. It's going to be gorgeous. What ick? No summer, Victoria says. We want fall and cool. Fall weather. I know. No matter what you or I want, though, The atmosphere is going to do what the atmosphere is going to do. Daytona Beach, let's head up the road. See, oh, how pretty is that? And World Center. Did I do this already? We'll use this as the last one. I did do this already. Oh my God, Burris, you have got to wake up. All right, let's go to downtown Orlando, and then we can be done. Lake Eola, sun kissed this morning. Yep, yep, the atmosphere is loving you. All right, temperatures out the door. 73 in Orlando, 70 degrees in Ocala, 81 though for us in Melbourne, so it's a warm one. First warning, live Doppler radar tracking a few showers off the shoreline from time to time. A few of these have even been trying to sneak a shower inland. Daytona Beach, I'm talking to you. South Daytona may see something sneak on in. Nothing too big of a deal, but hey, not too bad. Frank says you should look over here. Why should I? Oh, you mean on the tower cam? Or the radar. Let's see, radar. Our live radar sweep is nice. All right, let's go over though. My brother wants St. Pete. All right, hold on. St. Pete. I have to move computers. Stand by. If I do that, I do that. Ah, well, there you go. No signal. So I guess Frank, we're not going to look over your way. Joke's on you. All right, forecast for today, bringing us up into the 80s pretty quickly. 84 by 11 o'clock, 88 degrees 1 p.m., and 91 degrees our high temperature for today. 10 to 20% coverage of a few passing showers. There's not much to track. This is my favorite kind of a day. I absolutely love fall. Oh my gosh, I love it. All right, Futurecast, let's take you through time. And starting off this morning, gorgeous. Watch 10, 11, 12 o'clock, a few sprinkles trying to develop. A few showers, 2:33, 3:30, 4 o'clock through the interior. 5, 5:30, 6 o'clock fading, 7 o'clock continuing to clear. Absolute beauty. So if we've got plans today, for example, UCF football, Tabitha, Nagoya. By the way, not that anybody's watching from UCF, but like, who do I have to beg to volunteer to do the forecast for the games? I used to. One of these days, maybe they'll let me. Oh well. Warm, breezy for the tailgate. I can't. It'll be my first tailgate of the season, so I'm excited about that. And then we look great for the game. Maybe a sprinkle. It's not going to be like the widespread thunderstorms, all that stuff. It's gonna be pretty nice. It's gonna be it's gonna be pretty nice. Go Knights, charge on. Yeah. If you aren't doing the forecast, who is? Nobody. Like I don't want to charge them. I don't want to make money on it. I just want to do it. Oh well, one of these days maybe somebody will talk to somebody one day. Michael says Orlando City SC big match tonight versus Nashville. Yeah? All right, maybe we'll have to get a forecast for it. Looking pretty good though. All right. Volunteer. That's all I'm doing. I want to volunteer. I just want to volunteer. That's all. All right, 7 day forecast. So we're falling into fall. This is what I mean. Today, tomorrow, gorgeous, relatively dry. Monday's the first day of fall, raising that rain chance. And watch those temperatures Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday 92, 93. Yep, yep. There you go. There's your sign. So raising rain chances, raising humidity, all the things. Sorry. Working on new graphic stuff. We've got 6 or 7 stations launching on Thursday of next week, so just a lot of work. So I apologize to you. Um, I can't talk to somebody because I don't know somebody. I'm really a nobody, and I fly under the radar. I I'm just trying to. Hey, look, I just want to do the weather. That's all. Get a Mr. Microphone and have at it. Yeah, I'll just stand there and do my thing. Eric, he stopped talking. I know. I have to. I know. No, I didn't freeze. He sent me a text message and he's working on his day off, as I often do. But I digress. I'm trying to be respectful of his time. So, yeah. Can we recurve those 90s back to the 80s? Right? I wish we could. We will eventually. Jeannie Rowan says sausage must be made. It's true, and you'll know and see more eventually. Um, when could we see cooler temperatures? Yeah, so first off, let me go from this to the coastal 7 day forecast, where the rain chances are even higher. Okay? 30% today, 50% Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Thankfully, no 90s for you. All right. So, when do we see the cooler temperatures? This is a really great question. So, let me dial this up. So, first off, let's just start with this Orlando, your coolest temperature last Sunday, 71 degrees. Okay. That's the coolest we've gotten all season. Now, in Orlando, we typically get into the 60s early September for the first time. We typically get into the mid 60s for the first time in early October. We've not gotten there yet. Matt says October 16th is a cold front. I'm holding on to that. What's the raw GFS say? Uh, let's hope we get. Now again, you have to write off that that October 6th date there, just because that's the very end. The model doesn't run through the day. So ignore that very last date. But through early October, that's yeah, we just don't have it. Now that said, we have gotten a taste of fall in other spots, and if you were watching Coffee Talk that morning, it says this morning. Ignore where it says this morning, but Ocala. One morning last week did get down to 59 degrees. I just didn't remake the graphic. Don't judge me. But there you go. I pulled it up on the fly. So anyway, we've been in the 50s in parts of Central Florida, just not everybody. Yeah. Debbie says, Eric, you told us about October 16th. Yes, using the BSR. I was just trying to show you the GFS does not have that yet because it's too far out. That's all I was trying to show. That's all. That's all. Carol says, have fun today. Visit the concession stands and visit nonprofit organization Hope. So I don't know which concession stand you'll be at, but I will. Those kids of mine, they require snacks. So you know I'm going to visit a concession stand. Dad, we're hungry. Dad, we want a hot dog. Dad, we want a pretzel. Y'all know. You know how this is. Interesting. Aquarius says, "I don't want a taste of fall. I want the whole buffet." Well, it was Matt in here that said, and I've been using it on the air ever since, that fall is a process, right? So I've been using that. Carla, good morning. Go Knights, charge on. I bought new fall work clothes and I want to wear them. Summer it is. How long will it last? October, we should do some things. Hopefully we get there. Oh well. All right. Questions, comments, concerns, my friends? Anything? Amy, what does our pollen look like this week? With rising rain chances, we'll be able to drop the pollen levels just a little bit. Yukon says, I have never been to a UCF game, even though I was a student there for 5 years to get a 4 year degree. You should go. Listen, Stewart posted like I flew him to an FSU game this year, to the Alabama game. It was a great time. I marched in the UCF band. I've had season tickets for UCF football for years. I'm a UCF guy, absolutely through and through. I had a great time going to Doak Campbell, and if I have to pick between UF and FSU, don't hate me. I'm gonna go with FSU just because of the connection that UCF's players have had through there. Um, and then my frustration with UF is with the athletic director, and how things went years ago. But I digress. I had a great time, and you know what it showed me is that you gotta just love college football. Like I'm if I was invited to go to a Gator game, I'd go to a Gator game. I'm not necessarily going to be all about the Gators as much, but like I would love it. College football is so fun. So go to the UCF game, right? Go, have fun. FSU has a great meteorology program. Yes, they do. They do. They have a great meteorology program. Victoria, I've never been to a college or pro football game. I've always wanted to go. I've only been to one pro football game. It was because of marching band and I didn't even watch the game. It was a Jaguars game. I don't know what I was doing. Reading music, just talking, having fun with friends, whatever the case may have been. But I digress. All right. Any other questions, comments, concerns? Otherwise, I need to work on getting my coffee talk ready for some ch changes. Yep. All right. Questions, comments, concerns, anything? I'll be there marching pregame. Very good. Ever since being on the field in the locker rooms for women's Gators summer football camp, I've been a UF fan. See, that's a good reason to be a fan, right? Absolutely is. All right, people. That's all I got for you for today. Be the sunshine in someone else's day. Thank you for hanging out for Coffee Talk. I will see you tomorrow morning. Melbourne radar's quiet. There's nothing going on. You have nothing in Melbourne. All right. Be the sunshine in someone else's day. I will see you on the Today Show cut in here in about 4 minutes and 20 seconds.